Yeah, I was probably in the 8th grade. We ran out of food. My grandmother put some more money. She put a big donation in church for the pastor's fund, but she had some money coming from some work she had did, and that fell through. They didn't pay her. And suddenly we had no food, no money, and we had 5 days to go till the check came. And I just said, Mama, I don't need to eat. And so I went on this fast. First time I ever just fasted with water. And it was amazing because the first 3 days I thought I was going to die. But after 3 days, I really got this surge of energy. I felt better at the end of 5 days. And it taught me that you're not going to die. You're not going to die from starvation, not in this country.
Okay.
So, but it's how you accept it. And I fasted every year since then.
And you will know my name is Destroy, my brother. Destroy!
And I am here, man, with Mother Donald's son, Poochie. How you doing, Pooch?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you mentioned Mother Donald. So,
yes, man. Yeah. Ernie Hudson is out here in these streets being amazing. What a wonderful career it has been so far. Getting into some hip-hop facts, man. You and the rest of the Ghostbusters homies did security for Run DMC, right?
That's right, yeah. We did back on, what was it, 98, something like that?
Yeah.
99, somewhere in there.
Michigan Bell.
Michigan,
you miss
Michigan Bell, yeah.
You in the truck, you miss a couple of lights.
Yeah.
And you end up in California.
I was working for Michigan Bell. I was a communications consultant. The first real job I got. Right? I was awful at it, but it was an office job. I wore a suit, and I thought it was a perfect job. And that's when I realized maybe there's no such thing as a perfect job.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't take it. It was a sunny day, and I missed my turn. And I said, "Wow, I missed my turn." I looked up, I missed the next turn, and I thought, it's too nice to go to work, and my brother's in California. I haven't seen him in a while, so I just kept going. I ended up in California and left that job. Thank God.
Now, my question is, what about the truck?
Well,
Wow, a young church kid out here did his theater and, pay some good dues in Wayne, huh?
Yeah,
Wayne State was very beneficial, huh?
It was very beneficial. I always say everything I needed to learn, I learned at Wayne State. I've gone and, gotten additional education. I was at Yale for a year. I was at the University of Minnesota. But Wayne is, that's where the foundation, Wayne of the city, because
held you down.
The city is where I really built my foundation in theater. I go back there. A lot of guys who graduated in theater, but they were doing traditional theater. I was in the streets, community theater, Concept East Theater.
Yeah.
We were just, just
grinding, man, figuring it all out.
Figuring it out. And what you didn't know, the audience will let you know.
So you're out here in Yale.
Yeah.
And a black woman calls the cops on you.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's funny back in those days because I think a lot of people somehow felt I didn't belong there, just because it just weren't that many of us there. And I was in the cafeteria, and she just assumed somehow that I didn't. Of course, they came in. I mean, I had my ID, so everything was okay. But she later apologized. But I'm like, well, why would you call the police on me? Because, and in New Haven, the police, they gave me a hard time, But I was kind of militant, I mean, I had
yeah. It was the era. It was the times.
It was a time. It was the times, and a year was enough, But I gained a lot. In everything that we do, you learn something from it.
You're broke in Cali. You're living in your brother's house. Yeah. Your niece tells your brother he's eating all the food. You're wearing your brother's clothes.
Yeah.
You go see an agent.
Yeah.
Agent tells you goes back to Detroit.
Yeah.
You get back in your car to get out the parking garage, and the parking attendant says $1.25. Life is crumbling.
Life is crumbling, man. I broke out in tears. I couldn't hold it, man. I cried. I mean, it just seemed like I had tried everything I knew to do, and it was hopeless.
Yeah.
And I couldn't face going back to my brother's house. And I met a girl at a party who gave me her number, and I called her up, and she said, just come by. And I went by, and we sat there, we drank a bottle of something. I don't know. I don't drink alcohol, but whatever. We
You
drank,
was down.
and I was so down, man. I was just really down, and I finally went home, and I just couldn't get out of bed. I just couldn't. And then there was a call, and it was Paramount Studios. They said Gordon Parks was doing a movie, and they wanted to see me. And I don't know how it happened. Well, what happened was that when I was at her house, that I tried to get this agent a photo and a resume, and he wouldn't take it. And I had it at her house, and I put it on her piano unknowingly. And when her father, who was Gordon Parks, I didn't know that she was Gordon's daughter. I just thought she was, he saw the photo and thought I'd be right for his movie Leadbelly.
Yeah.
And called me up, and that's the
Amazing.
first movie I got. But
you didn't know how to dance. You didn't know how to ride horses.
Yeah, I had to do this big elaborate dance, and he said, "Can you dance?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can dance." But I had to, fess up and say, I can learn to dance. And he said, "Well, you got to drive a team of horses. Do you know anything about animals? Can you?" I said, "Oh yeah, I know
Fake
animals."
It till you make it.
That's right. And then I kind of stopped and said, I don't really know, but I can learn.
Yeah.
And he kind of shook his head, and for a moment I think it was weighing whether or not. He said, "Okay, we'll work it out."
Oh yeah, Gordon Parks. You only got paid $605, right?
That's right. That was the least
scale. Come on,
the
Gordon.
Scale was $604.
Something though.
But man, when those days $600.
Shit, let's go. On Fantasy Island, Ricardo Montalban, man, he embraced you, huh?
Yeah, Ricardo was. I got the show Fantasy Island. I had to dance, which I'm not a dancer, but I had to learn this dance. And it was a dance with a snake, so, and all of which. But it's like that's what I got to do. And I got there, and I felt a little bit because these were big stars, of the time. Because they were big celebrity stars, and so I just stayed in my dressing room because I didn't want to, I felt a little awkward. And then I get a knock on the door, and it's Ricardo, and he welcomes me to Fantasy Island, like, welcome, and he takes me around, introduced me to everybody, and told me sit, and brought my lunch, and just made me feel a part of, and I was so appreciative of him because he didn't have to do that, and later on, just before he made transition, I saw him and talked about it. I honestly don't know if he remembered, but he was kind enough to pretend he did anyway.
Very nice.
So he's the only actor I ever sent a thank you note to. I just really, because sometimes people, you just need to be validated. You just need to know that you're in the right place and this is what you're meant to do. And sometimes people, make us feel outside of, but every once in a while someone will come along and just say, no, you're where you need. You belong.
Yeah,
and that's important to belong.
That's absolutely important, man. Talk about Miguel Ferreira, man.
Miguel was.
He connected with you with Brandon Lee. Huh?
Yeah. Miguel was just a great guy, good friend. But he grew up with Brandon Lee, or they knew each other very well. And Brandon had made a movie in China. It was coming back through, stopped in Vancouver for a couple of weeks and just hung out. And I got to know Brandon pretty well during that time. And when he got ready to do The Crow, he asked for me to be on the show.
Amazing.
He was such a really nice young man. You got to realize that at my age, I'm pretty much older than everybody. I don't think of myself that way, but he was just really great. And we that scene in The Crow in my apartment, he loved. I know we just had a great time working on that together.
Yeah, man. But and then you also hurt your leg in that. And
it was a weird show because we had one guy I think was electrocuted. And there was so many weird things that happening. On that set.
Then they said, "Hey, I know it's been some time, but we got to go back and finish this film."
When Brandon died, it was just everything shut down.
Yeah,
I still to this day don't understand how it happened, but I didn't want to go back. I think most people felt the same way. But then the makeup artist called me and said, Brandon worked so hard on this, we have to finish it for him.
Yeah,
and we went back to finish it. It was just really weird, but we got it done. And I'm so thankful. It's one of my favorite films. I think Brandon would have been very proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Super excited. Ann Arbor, Michigan. About to have that street naming, man.
Yeah, that was
how beautiful is that, man? You don't got to do graffiti on the wall no more. It's literally right there forever.
Yeah.
Make a left on Ernie Hudson way.
Well, it's right at the projects.
Nice.
They built the projects right at the city line, and when you come out of the project is on the street, Bus Street, and then it runs through town. So when you come out of the project, you're on, which is now Ernie Hudson Avenue. So you'll be on my street coming out the project, and hopefully you keep going.
Don't even roll the window down.
Don't go back. Just keep on going.
Oh my gosh! Here I am with the phenomenal Poochie.
Yeah. You did your homework.
Yeah, man. Ernie Hudson is out here being amazing. Talk about your trainer making you spar a man, bro. What's wrong with this dude?
Well, I was a kid, and I never really played sports. But I like boxing because boxing was such an individual sport.
You was an asthmatic kid.
I was.
And church didn't tell you, go play sports.
Yeah, right? No, church. Well, church was, it was against God. It was the devil's stuff. Because you got to bet in it, and so now they have a church team.
Yeah.
But I was pretty good. I was fighting Golden Gloves, and so my trainer thought I was a little arrogant, and he brought in a friend of his who was a Marine Corps champion, and this was a man. This is a full-grown man. He was, and he hit me so hard. I didn't know you could be hit that hard. I was like,
it's a straight man.
Yeah,
man.
No man. I was like,
kid out here.
Whoa! And so I tried to quit. But no, man, I turned around. He was behind me. I tried to lay down. He was underneath me, and I was so humiliated. And all those kids have been beating their butts. They're laughing. They think it's funny. And I'm like, no, there's got to be a better way to make a living. I ain't doing this.
Yeah. Yo, what I think is funny is you going back to Minnesota to save your relationship. And even your dog knew. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I got married really young. It was, and I was in denial. But like I said, the dog, I told the dog to get out. He looking at me like, no, I'm not the one leaving.
Speaking about a dog, man, was Beverly Hills Chihuahua? Were you, what was the ethnicity of Pedro, fam? Come on, son.
Yeah,
he was out here singing in Spanish and everything.
Yeah. No, when I was a kid, they would always do the accent. Somebody be on TV and it'd be like wrong.
Yeah.
So, but Pedro it was fun.
Mama Donald, man, you started fasting as a little kid, cause
the first fast I went on. Huh? Yeah, I was probably in the 8th grade. We ran out of food. My grandmother put some more money. She put a big donation in church for the pastor's fund, but she had some money coming from some work she had did. And that fell through. They didn't pay her. And suddenly we had no food, no money, and we had 5 days to go till the check came. And I just said, Mama, I don't need to eat. And so I went on this fast. First time I ever just fasted with water. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing because the first 3 days I thought I was going to die. But after 3 days, I really got this surge of energy. I felt better at the end of 5 days. And it taught me that you're not going to die. You're not going to die from starvation, not in this country.
Okay.
So, but it's how you accept it. And I fasted every year since then.
Yeah.
In my life. Yeah. It's for spiritual reasons, but also just for health reasons. Sometimes you just got to give your system a chance to just reset and go through some things. And
look at you being healthy, man. Come on, man. A week with the service, right? Then they figured out you was trash at the Army, right? And then they
no
sports you wasn't doing. Come on, son.
No, I never.
So how'd you get your athletics? Well, just making sure conditioning that you was right.
Well, I'm sure genetics have more because nothing I did. Even though I did have a job when I was in high school. I worked at this foundry where I had to shovel dirt for the molders. Mm-hmm. And so for 8 to 10 hours a day, I would just shovel dirt.
Yeah.
And after working that job for about 8 months, man, my upper body was...
Yeah.
Talk about swole, man. My shoulders kind of blew up, And ever since then, but I've always had what I would consider a good physique, but I never really played. Now on television, I played boxers and sports, act roles, but I've never really played sports.
Alaska was looking for barbers.
Yeah, that was our first plan. Me and my wife, we got married. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We were kids, And we read someplace that Alaska needed barbers, and they were paying $15,000. You know, we thought, wow, man, $15,000. We can make $15,000, and you could buy a house for $5,000.
Yes,
You know, this is like in
different times,
1964. So we thought, okay, what we do, we'll go to Alaska, and we'll both be barbers, and then we'll live on one salary, and then we'll save $15,000, and then we'll come back and we'll have like $45,000 after 3 years, and then we can buy, and then we'll be kind of rich, and then we'll be like, cool. Nah, so anyway, we didn't go to Alaska. We went to Detroit. My ex-wife, she got into barber school.
Yeah.
And the second day she cut her finger. She cut her finger badly, and so that ended that.
Yeah.
You know. But we both got into college and and did well.
I want to let you guys know I am sitting here with the executive producer of The Family Business, man. Season 5, huh?
Season 5.
Now, there's a real life experience where an ex-husband sees you on a date.
Oh, yeah. That's
He pulls out a gun, son.
Yeah. No, it's funny how your life can go in different directions in a moment. You know what I mean? And you look back on it and you think, wow, it could have gone so badly. You know, I had worked with his wife, and I was leaving town the next morning, and she called and was wanting to get together, and they had broke up.
Yeah.
And we went out to dinner, came back to where she had parked her car, and he had found her car, and he was waiting. So he came around and was banging on the car. She locked her door. And he was, and I can't let him, because he was angry and he was going to hurt her. So I get out of the car to try to talk to him, and he swings on me. So now it's on, but I used to box, so you know what I mean. But the weird thing was, every time I hit him, it hurt. You know, I felt bad. I felt bad because I know that he was his wife, and he was, you know what I mean? It's like,
going through it
why am I
emotionally.
in this stuff? And it's like, but I can't let him, so he's on the ground, and then he says, he says, okay, I'll show you. And he gets up and he goes to his car to get his gun. And then she said, he's got a gun. So now we run into my friend's house that we had parked in front of, and he's downstairs banging on the door. So my friend said, Ernie, you got to go down and deal with it, man. So he gives me his gun.
Yeah.
So now I'm going down. I got my gun.
Okay, corral over here.
And my gun is cocked. I just want to let him know, man, because I'm just going to shoot you, man, because it's like, But I'm thinking, I got a ticket to L.A. tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want to.
The crossroads.
I don't want to be here, So I go down, and he's got his gun. It's like in his back. He's got it kind of in the back on the side. So I know before he can pull the gun around, I'm just going to shoot him.
Yeah.
So I come outside, and he tells me, he starts crying, and he loves his wife, and they got 2 little girls.
Wow.
And his wife, and I'm like, man, I said, dude, I'm leaving town, man. So then he's in tears, and he says, do you want a beer?
Wow.
So I don't want a beer, man. I don't even want to drink, but I'm like, oh, sure, So we go to his car. And he takes his gun and he puts it back in the trunk.
Wow.
And he has some beer, and he takes out 2 cans of beer, and we sit there and talk for and I'm thinking, I just want to get hey, man. So finally I said, listen, she's not going to come out while you're here. So, if you leave, I promise I'm leaving town, man. So he left, and I thought about that. I thought, man, what if I shot this guy? If he had shot me, it's just for over just nothing. So, hopefully you live and learn.
Wow.
But it was the last fist fight I had with an adult, and I realized that, man, you hurt people, but unless it's nothing good.
Amazing, man. Now, you lived and you continue to live a lot of different lives, B. Your 30 for 30 special is going to be amazing, B. So many chapters.
Yeah, well, life is like that, man. We go through a journey, man. I'm almost 80 years old, and you see a few things.
Let's go.
And you try to pull the best out of it, and try to just try to keep loving yourself primarily, because if you don't love yourself, you can't really love anybody else.
There you go, man.
But I've been good, man.
Yeah, man. I remember the VHS days. Substitute was on repeat, man. You yelling at Mark Anthony, like, come on, son.
yeah. That was kind of like The Family Business. It's nice to play a character
Yeah, you was come on, go for it. You was moving shit out the school, and now you moving stuff out the auto shop.
Yeah. No.
Come on, we know what's going on in family business. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's people feel that that's where we have to go. I got to do what I got to do, and if you in the way, you just in the way. It's interesting that psychosis, for me to look at a character, but to be able to play that character, it's interesting.
Take advantage of all the greatness on the new season of Family Business.
Yes.
It's available for people to watch and stream and enjoy.
Yeah, BET Plus, and you can find other outlets as well, but BET Plus is where you find it.
Yeah, look at you being an executive producer who's sitting back having a good time, man. You deserve all the accolades, my brother.
Thank you.
It's amazing to be here with you, bro. Ernie, continue, because I aspire to be as amazing as you in physique-wise, health-wise.
Yeah, passing is important, and mainly keep the spirit up.
Yeah.
So it starts with spirit. Everything comes from spirit.
This healthy-looking Ernie dude, man.
Yeah.
You big on social media?
Yeah, Ernie, I think it's Ernie _
He don't even know what it is. It's MC Poochie. Hit him up.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Ernie.
Thank you, man.
It's an honor and a pleasure. I'm going to tell you guys, once again, Control Alt Destroy right here on Shade 45. Life is amazing when you get to hang out with superheroes like Ernie Hudson on Sirius XM.
And you will know my name is Destroy, my brother.
I like destroy.
Yeah, destroy. Yeah, destroy.